Hello YouTube, it's the Utopian Buddha. So I don't know who this video is going to find, but I hope it finds the right people, the people who are trying to do the deep inner work and the outer work, but the deep inner work necessary to forestall the collective events that are going to soon be happening to the human race as a result of both our spiritual evolution or the psychological changes that are happening within us, and as a result of technological developments happening in the external world. So I'm writing a book right now called the Self, which is about the ego's evolving relationship to its deeper center. It's based on Jungian psychology. And so what's happening is right now the human race is reaching one of those tipping points where the ego is going to be destabilized and replaced by a higher state of consciousness, which is the self, right? But the problem is that all of the structures of our world were ego-based structures. They're built on the ego. So this analyst, a Jungian analyst, Edward Edinger, talks about 4 stages. Revelation, which is the eruption of the self, which is the inner divinity, into the psychological space of mankind. Judgment, which is, there's something called the shadow, right? And in a full understanding of God integrates both light and shadow, both the good aspects of God and the dark aspects of God, the dark side of God. And when you merge the light of God to the dark of God, you get something called the conjunctio, or the union of opposites, which is the highest good, which is utopia, heaven on earth, bliss, ananda. But anyways, so this revelation, but the problem is that right now the collective shadow has been repressed. And when the self erupts into consciousness, which is going to happen within probably the next few decades, maybe a century, but once this self erupts into consciousness, the archetypes of, I could get into what an archetype is, but I hope you kind of know already. But a certain archetype, the apocalypse archetype, will be constellated. And when this archetype is constellated, what's going to happen is that major wars and suffering are going to happen because we have repressed the dark side of God. We have not integrated that part into our consciousness. And what is that split in our consciousness is going to show up in the external world through polarization, right? Right versus left, rich versus poor, black versus white. So that's the second stage, which is revelation, judgment, which is, the shadow, the collective shadow is going to come in to make its presence known, which is the dark side. The Antichrist is going to make itself known. And then there's going to be destruction, the dissolution of the ego-based social structures and psychological structures of the human race. And finally, there's going to be a new earth or a rebirth after the apocalypse, which is going to be utopia, a new world centered on higher consciousness and a stabilization of the personality and center of gravity, the psychological center of gravity, into the self. So that's all going to happen. So what our task is right now is to do the inner work and heal our own collective, our individual split, the split we have within us between light and dark. And hopefully, they say that has a soothing effect on the collective shadow whenever an individual does the work and acts out the conjunctio, which is love, like love, charity, goodness, peace, like doing the right thing, which is the union of light and dark. It's not just light. The right thing is balance, harmony, and union. So that's all I wanted to say. Have a great day, guys.